Hey everybody, Dave Kincaid here. I want to give you a quick video on a $2 million grant that was awarded this week. I was going through the example in my advanced grant writing course at the beginning of class, and I just thought I would show this to you too. If you're a business owner and you're looking to get grants, oftentimes it can seem overwhelming and stuff, but I always feel like the best grant application can be just written on a napkin. And this is a classic case of a grant that you could easily write the application on a napkin and show results both to the taxpayer and to the government and put some money in your bank. So I'm going to show you the media clip of this, and I'm just going to give you some feedback as we go through it. Okay, I want you to pay attention to the first 8-9 seconds of this news clip. And it's a trick I learned from John Lovang. Shout out John. He's a media trainer. He talks about when you do interviews, you want to leave the interview with like a desired headline and have 3 key messages to support that. And it's very much like that in grants as well, right? When you meet the grant agency, you definitely want to walk away from them thinking, oh, this is an opportunity. You know, this is definitely something we want to get behind. Pay attention to this. Here we go.
Cannabis is now New Brunswick's most valuable crop, surpassing potatoes and dairy, according to Organogram, which wants to grow even more.
Okay, we'll stop there. So notice right off the bat, they're talking about the economic opportunity. They could have opened it up many ways. They could have said cannabis facility, like up here, the headline, 2 million upgrades lights. It's not about that. It's about this emerging opportunity, and you know, the business, the government, the taxpayer has a reason to be excited or interested in this topic. Okay, so very interesting. They lead it off. Watch it one more time, just and picture this, even in a grant application. Here we go.
Cannabis is now New Brunswick's most valuable crop, surpassing potatoes and dairy, according to Organogram, which wants to grow even more.
So that is the lead that is going to eventually lead to a couple $1,000,000. Okay, there's then a discussion in this video around internal trade. So I'm going to skip forward to about just close to the 40-second mark, and we're going to pick back up and watch how it talks about sort of market metrics and then specifically key points on the project, okay? This is what I mean by napkin. Here we go.
Organogram's biggest markets are in Ontario, Alberta, and British Columbia.
We have a high market share here in New Brunswick, but having that ability to sell cross borders without that additional tax would allow us to be more profitable.
The provincial money will go toward Organogram's $9.3 million lighting project for LED fixtures in 75 grow rooms.
We're looking to make our companies and our enterprises more productive, and we're looking to diversify into new markets.
That's the Premier of New Brunswick. So did you notice that? Like $9 million projects, I think 75 grow rooms. They've got their key points down nice and clear.
Will boost crop yields by 10% while improving efficiency. That means a higher monthly NB power bill. But Organogram says it's worth it.
It's about $60,000 a month increase, but we pay about $1 million a month. So you know, it's a percentage, but the yield outweighs that increase in energy.
The Moncton facility employs more than 800 people.
So that last point he just made around, you know, he got an objection like, hey, isn't this going to increase your costs? But then he has a good answer that addresses the, you know, the objection. And it's another key thing in grants is you want to have those key objections ready and nice, good answers to go. So he says, it's going to be more expensive, but we're going to make more money. Now, watch this point on jobs. A lot of people, when they're writing applications, they want to win, so they'll embellish the numbers. And watch the language around how they handle job growth. Here it comes. Watch this.
And as the yields increase, Organogram says so too could the number of jobs. Derek Haggett, CTV.
Thought that was great. So too could. Often, as I mentioned, you know, people are eager to say 50 jobs. And I've seen where they end up doing a follow-up 18 months later, and let's say things aren't going as expected. Well, now the CEO is doing an interview about why they didn't hit their numbers. And so you want to be very careful about putting yourself into a situation where you may not even have to, you know. And if you're careful around that, or think really intentionally about how you're going to get those numbers, it can just help you down the road. One last thing that's very interesting here, and this is this idea of Napkin. One of their staff made a comment on social media, and I just took out a key line here, which I thought was so well done. Check this out. So in this little post, he said 9,000 LEDs, 75 grow rooms, 10% more yield, real impact for New Brunswick workers in the sector. And I thought that is tremendous grant writing. You know, you could write that on a napkin, put it across to the grant agency and say, that's what we're doing. Do you want to participate? And they can be like, oh, cool. Yeah, big opportunity. But so often what will happen when people are starting to write a grant, they're like, you know what? This grant application, it's going to be the LED, but it's also going to be the new product we're creating. And we're expanding the building. And, we're going to hire a bunch more staff and another project. And this application just gets more and more complicated, more difficult to write. And so oftentimes when you're writing a project description, if you can keep it really clear and concise and easy and straightforward, it can be easier for both your team and also the government, the other side, to look at it easily and say, yeah, this is quote unquote a no-brainer, really good project. So they did a wonderful job. Remember, get a great grant can often just be put on a napkin. You should be able to understand it, communicate it clearly. And this one led to $2 million. So I hope that helps you and hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.